I feel like my videos lately have been nothing but hot takes, and I apologize about that. And so for this video, my goal is to talk about something that I think everyone out there can agree with. Warzone kinda sucks, doesn't it? And now, let me start off by saying I fell off of Warzone a long time ago. Pre-BO6 integration, pre-Warzone 2.0. Honestly, even before Caldera, I was kind of off of the game. No, for me, like some point during Verdansk 84, during Cold War, that was really where I got off and haven't really jumped back on since. And to be honest, there's not like a great big reason why. I just grew tired of Battle Royale around that time. You know, everyone was doing it. Battlefield had one. There were rumors that the next Halo would have one, and that kind of got halted, I guess. And I don't know, that game mode, while fun for a little bit, I just kind of felt like I got my fill. And again, that's no one's fault. I can't blame anyone else. It's not you, it's me, who doesn't like you. And so because of that, I've kind of witnessed that community grow and then shrink and then kind of collapse in on itself from the outside. And I gotta say, the general sentiment around the game has never been better than lukewarm at best. Or at least not since 2022, when Warzone went through that whole 2.0 era, which then led to the following 2 years being full of nothing but quality of life updates and general gameplay changes to kind of just undo everything that they did in 2.0. No more AI strongholds. They got rid of the 2v2 gulag. Backpacks are gone. All to the point that, at least to me, someone who hasn't played this game seriously in a long time, it feels about where we'd be at if Warzone 2.0 didn't happen. But yet, that resentment toward the game hasn't waned at all. If anything, it feels like it got worse somehow. So I was doing some research for a completely unrelated video. Pay no attention to what I'm wearing here too. I was trying to go for this scientist vibe. Anyway, I was looking through Steam data of around the time that Black Ops 6 released, and I noticed that on the day that Season 1 dropped, there was really no noticeable spike, which I think makes sense in some way, because those who were playing Season 1 likely already purchased the game and were already playing it because it came out like, what, 2 weeks prior or something like that. But because of Call of Duty HQ, this is the data for both Warzone and Black Ops 6 combined. And so I would have expected to see a spike here, because on the day of Season 1, they updated Warzone, I think, pretty significantly. Omni movement, a rework to perks, completely new map. And so for such a monumental day in Warzone history, to not see a spike feels weird to me. Like, was anyone playing? Is anyone playing? And it feels like every time that I open up a social media app, I'm hit with another Warzone content creator saying that their viewership is in the toilet, leading me to believe that maybe Warzone is just dying, both on a viewership level and on a player level. And as part of this video, I didn't want to make this without actually experiencing the new Warzone 3.0, 4.0, whatever the fuck we're on right now. And I even partied up with the same exact people that I was playing Warzone 1.0 with back in the day. And I gotta say, I had an okay time. I had a good time. I didn't have a great time though. But then after a couple of games and getting a win under our belt, we just sorta turned it off. You know, we kind of just had our fill. That we were done with it. And I think that is the root of the issue. It's the same exact thing. Meanwhile, I look at a game like Fortnite that has just remained at the top of the same genre for years at this point. And admittedly, it's not my game. I don't play it. So, I mean, similarly, I'm watching this thing from the outside here. But it feels like every time that I hear about it, it's within the context of some new big thing that they're doing to push the envelope of what was mostly just a simple BR a few years ago. They got Lego Fortnite. They got Racing Fortnite. They got Fortnite with Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and gang signs. But then you look over at Warzone, and judging by the roadmaps of the last 3 years, it's the same, like, 6 things they just keep doing over and over and over again. They break something, they fix it 8 months later and call it a new feature. They remove a dirt bike, they bring it back on the next map. We know it's not new, guys. What are we doing here? And all the while, at its core, Warzone is exactly the same as it was years ago. It's a battle royale, which I don't know if you've looked around lately, if you've poked your head outside of your man cave or a secret dungeon. I don't know. Where do you live? Leave a comment down below. What's your address? But BR isn't like the thing anymore. No one's making new BRs, or at least not successful ones. And while yes, it is still wildly popular, there's of course plenty of people who love BR, I think we've hit a critical mass here, where no one new is getting into Warzone, and all that's happening is players are bleeding out. And no matter how many old maps you bring back, no matter how many pointless changes you undo, is going to bring people back if they don't want to play your game anymore. Instead, if Warzone wants to survive, they need to change. Like, actually change. They need something for players to get into alongside BR, right? I'm not saying that we get rid of BR, put your pitchforks down, but maybe let's just set it aside for now, because it feels like we're just treading the same water. And then come over here and try to develop something new, something that'll, be fun. Now, I have 3 suggestions of things that I would like to see come out of Warzone, and then I'll meet you guys back here after and we'll debrief or something. And the first idea I have is to bring back DMZ. I mean, it never really left beta after all. And our DMZ is something that I thought had a pretty decent base back in MW22 that unfortunately kind of got swept in with all the negativity surrounding the 2.0, but as part of their, like, you know, going back on all of that, they kind of just took DMZ and, well, they didn't really shoot it in the head, they did kind of starve it to death, which is almost worse. And now, a lot of people really liked the extraction shooter element of it. Personally, it wasn't for me. I played it a ton during like the first 2 seasons or so, but it started to become way more of a PvP arena than PvPvE. As more of the casuals dropped off, you would only run into other players that just killed you for no reason. And like, I get that it's part of the game, but like, as an alternate to BR, where I'm playing with effectively 1 life, I didn't want another mode that was also 1 life. Also, solo players should have just had a self-revive off the bat. I don't know why they locked that behind a bundle. Hey, so Editing Austin here, it was money. They wanted money. That was why they wanted to make more money. If they were to bring DMZ back, I want them to keep the PvPvE as a separate mode. Keep it over here. Maybe it's some kind of hardcore mode or something. But I think let's shift the focus to that PvE mode. That way it'll appeal to more casuals. Like, there's a reason that Zombies is so popular. Because while the mode is deep, the barrier for entry is incredibly low. It's chill, it's a vibe, you know? And if we're talking about something to scratch a different itch than BR, I think it would be something that's chill. We need a lean back mode. Like, I see it scratching a similar itch that Helldivers does, in that it'd be a big open world with enemies that you and your squad infill to defeat alongside other squads. And you'd each kind of have your own missions and different allegiances with different factions, and you could team up for these big map-wide events, or you can just stay in your own little corner and do whatever mission Graves gave you or whatever. I hate to just keep referencing another game and saying, do that, but in Call of Duty, but I mean, it just won a fucking award for best ongoing game or something. If Warzone wants to be on that level, copy Helldivers, man. So, the second suggestion is also something that Call of Duty has already done before, but have just stopped supporting, and that's Ground War, aka the mode that everyone forgot was in the new Modern Warfare trilogy. And this just kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. The maps for it were already all cutouts from whatever that game's Warzone map was that year, and even has a squad system that is a lot more similar to Warzone than it is multiplayer. And I think the reason that Resurgence has made it this far and is a lot of people's favorite mode is because of the constant respawn respawns and constant gunfights and getting back into the action. But the idea of fast respawns and a lot of gunfights fit perfectly in with Ground War, at least when compared to Warzone. Like, it's basically just a 50v50 mode, but without those weird mid-air respawns that they insisted on putting in. And they could even expand upon Ground War into other modes, like the ones that they had back in MW2, you know, a 12v12 Surge and big Capture the Flag. Because in my opinion, that's a lot of what Warzone doesn't offer right now. There is no casual mode. I mean, there's Plunder, but like, who plays Plunder? I just think that Ground War could be the proper sandbox of all the different current COD games clashing that I think Warzone really should be. Which actually is a pretty good segue into my third suggestion, which is creative. And now, yes, that is another existing mode that I'm pulling from another game, but like, let's be real, that's what Call of Duty does. And while I'm not necessarily talking about a full-on map creator a la Fortnite Creative, I think introducing some kind of custom games with robust options to play with, or even a small-scale map editor like Halo 3's Forge back in the day, could unlock a whole new side of the community. Like, add every gun, piece of equipment, kill streak, perk, objective, prop from prop hunt into a creator and just see what happens when we shake that box. Like, think Battlefield Portals, but for COD, and see how each game's new weapons and features all blend and build on top of each other like an actual open sandbox to mess around in. Like, I don't think I have any footage of it anymore, and if I don't, then you'll just be staring at my face for this bit, but some of the most fun that I've had in a BR was back in Blackout, just like fucking around trying to get an ATV into the back of one of those flatbeds, driving around the turbine, POI. It was a fun time. I didn't at any point think I should be killing people, I should be winning this game. Me and my friends were just like, let's fuck around, and that's fun to me. Am I weird? Do people not have fun? But the bottom line is that new experiences needs to be at the forefront of Warzone. Like, Call of Duty doesn't seem to realize that its biggest competition isn't X-Defiant or Delta Force. Even if they weren't already shooting themselves in the foot or head, Call of Duty just has them beat. Instead, their real competition, the one that they actually need to strive to try to beat, is Fortnite. Fortnite is their most direct competitor, in that it's this catch-all game that should, and in Fortnite's case, is constantly innovating. Now, I'm not saying that Call of Duty needs to have a racing game mode or, I don't know, a fucking roleplay server. I don't think that we need a Call of Duty fashion show or anything, but just something new, something different, something to keep up with the times, because, man, BR just isn't it. And if you continue to try to, like, build Warzone up on top of this base that is already shrunk, what happens if you build a house on a single cinder block? It topples over. Probably. I don't know. That's not up to code. People don't do that, but I assume that's why they don't do that. Call of Duty used to lead in innovation, and then later they would at least copy people who were innovating. But now it's still copying the same innovations that were made 5 fucking years ago. Is it any wonder that people are leaving when they already got what they came here for years ago? I mean, what are they getting out of the experience? A fucking mastery camo? If Warzone wants to survive, it needs to change. Like, actually change. And that's it. End of statement, end of video.